Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. So, I'm going to wait for people to come in to the chat and we'll get started with this video. Okay, welcome subscribers and lurkers to my channel. If you are a lurker, please like and subscribe to this channel, and I am going to get started. So, you guys probably don't remember this image that is in front of my screen. So, this picture was taken about 3 to 4 years ago, where these women posted on their TikToks and Instagrams of them showing their faces painted black. And this stirred up a lot of controversy, especially around the African American community, because these women were trying to pass as black. Now, the woman that you see on the bottom of your screen, she was the most sought after because she was online, because when people were attacking her, people were accusing her for trying to be like a black woman. And she went on her post saying that, she tans, easily, which in how I looked at her left hand picture is not the case at all. Because for one, I do not see it on her picture. I really don't. And it was kind of fishy to me because, you know, as black women, we're always, ridiculed and bashed for, our looks, having a big nose, plump lips, big ass, dark skin, you name it. But when you see these women on your screen, these women that, bashed you for the way you look, they're trying to get the look that they deem is not sexy. They try to get these looks. Now that, having a big butt, especially, is becoming popular. But that wasn't enough for these women. Now, these women went as far as getting a tan and getting black makeup and putting themselves black and getting a curly head wig. Now, let me tell you, black women, and I'm going to be honest with you. So there's something that we're doing that is right. We're doing something right for, non-black women, especially white women, to hate themselves or try to look black. We're doing something right. That means that our attention, we're getting more male attention now than we did in the past decade. And I believe that these women are feeling some type of way. And I'm not in their minds, but let's be real here. They are painting themselves to look like Black women. And I want Black women to be aware of this. This is, this could be a good, this is not a good thing to do for them to do because, for one, you know, for them to paint themselves as Black women, look, just think about it for a second. That can ruin our images as a woman. Do you know that these women painting themselves as a Black woman, they can, like, can be involved in criminal activity by painting themselves or passing themselves off as a Black woman? Look at what happened to Black men. There were white men passing themselves off as Black men, and they were robbing a bank. And as Black women, we should be pointing this shit out and exposing this because that could put our image in danger. Because these women that you see on your screen, you don't know what people are doing to our image as Black women. Because now that I have to sit here and think about this after after 4 years, because we don't want this over our heads like that. Hi, hi, how are you? We don't want this kind of representation of us, being criminals, hookers, or stealers, or, stealing weeds, when in actuality, it could be, a white woman doing this, stealing while looking like a Black woman. We have to be aware of this. At the same time, we have to call this shit out. We really do. But on the other hand, we're seeing as competition. And this is why, because if you look at these women, they look like plain Janes. They do not look, and even if they were to wear makeup on their faces, Black woman, I can tell the difference between how a non-Black woman put on her makeup and how a Black woman put on her makeup. We are the bomb diggity. We are. Because look at what they're doing. They feel like, them not being themselves is enough to attract attention to guys. So they have to use our image to get the man that they want. Because let me tell you something, women. If a non-Black man, because let's be honest here. If a non-Black man that never dated a Black woman before, and they ended up seeing this type of woman, not knowing she is a white woman, they would think that she's a Black woman because look at her makeup. Look at how they presented themselves. They were easily mistaking them as a Black woman until the truth comes out, whether they have to meet the family or not. This is how they're going to see it. And this is bad. I do not like this. I don't like how, non-Black women are passing our image off as theirs, thinking that, they're entitled to our image and, whatever in our bodies. And Black women, let's be real, we're becoming the standard of beauty, and We are becoming the standard of beauty in this country because it's very telling. But at the same time, we also have to call this shit out because we should not, this is nothing to celebrate. When people, are using us as, using us as our image, to promote themselves or to get, a black man, which is, not all black women want a black man, but, I think, for these women, I think that's their goal is to attract a black man, you know, but as black women, let's set all, this, this black fishing aside for a second. We're becoming, the narrative is changing in our favor. And this goes to show you that hypergamy works. It really does. Hi, Renee. Hypergamy works for us when we attract the men that we want, especially high value men. And we're ending up, becoming the standard of beauty. And white women, as always, are looking right at us. And they see that we're becoming the come up woman. And that now that black women are, are trying to leave the hood and trying to live a better life, let's be honest with themselves. They're panicking. They see that black women are getting non-black men. And now they're sitting up here thinking, well, if they must be the new, I'm trying to get it out. they're thinking now they're in competition with black women. Now black women are rising up out of the ashes and saying, hi, I'm here and I am ready to take your man. And they're like, uh-oh, well, we see black women coming up now and they're leveling up and they're, taking the best of the men. Well, we can't have that. So as you can see in this picture right here, these non-black women will go through any length to, to get the look and achieve the look that we have. Now, I'm not saying this is all white women or, non-black women, because this is the minority. This is just the beginning. And if we continue to let this slide, it's going to get worse. It's gonna, people are gonna jump in, this bandwagon. They don't want to look black, but they sure want your body parts. And I'm telling you, girls, black is in. And I do not want to make this video long because I want you to show another video from Coriander, because I want you guys to, understand more about what is going on and why we are becoming competition now to these women. Because we are, let's be real, black women, we're changing the narrative now. We're tired of being on the bottom. We're tired of, being the least desirable. And we're changing that. We're losing the weight. We're revamping our image. And it's working for us. So black women, stay hypergamous. Keep doing what you're doing, because right now we want the standard of beauty to work in our favor. That's the goal. We want the standard of beauty to work in our favor. And it's up to non-black men, especially white men, because they still control the United States. They still control society. We to become the center of beauty, we have to go through non-black men, point blank, period. Not black men. Black men, as you can see, black men are now lifting up our image. So we, as black women, we have to look for other races of men to, to see us as desirable. So without further ado, I will show you guys Coriander's video because she makes a very, very, very good point about black fishing. And this video is from like 3 or 4 years ago. And it's a really good point that she made because our image is being hijacked. Like for real. It is being hijacked. It, and we want this to stop. We want to point this out. We want to keep calling this out because, you know, you don't know what people are thinking or what they have in their heads. Because, most people in the United States thinking that black people, we all act the same. So we have to call shit out like that. And call out the BS like we heard like 4 to 3 years ago. Black woman, this is our image. We need to take control of our images and let people know, hey, this is my image and you're not going to taint it. I refuse for you to come up in my space and trying to be me. Because let's be honest, black women are not trying to be like non-black women. Yes, in some cases we try to assimilate because white women are considered the standard of beauty. And we've been told that our image is not good enough. Hi, Michael Ray. How you doing? Yeah, I have been the beauty standard. Right now, all majority beauty titles are owned by black women and girls. And I hope, it stays that way. I hope it stays that way. Because it's our turn now. Non-black women have their fun. It's time for black women to get theirs. It's our turn now. And it's going to be bittersweet when we get ours. So without further ado, here is Coriander. And I really want you guys to pay attention to what she had to say. Because this is really important because we really need to stay on top of this. So let me get the video started. Let me mute my mic so nothing will be, playing in the background.
pretending to be black online for profit and for gain. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll through these pretty slowly at first, right? Pretty slowly. And I really wanted to drop this subject, but you have white people in my comments. They're dumbasses. They're dumb, narcissistic, racist asses. Because for any white person to support this, you're obviously racist. Okay, you feel entitled. This is a perfect example of white entitlement. I feel entitled to your identity. I should be able to steal, copy, or mimic your identity if I want to, right? Remember, I touched on that in the other video. I was like, how white people hijacked Egyptian culture. Now they're trying to hijack Ethiopian culture. Now they're trying to hijack Nubian history. They're just, this right here is like a race of culture vultures, right? Like they have originality. They have no originality and they have no shame in trying to hijack the cultural identity of other groups of people. Okay? And this is something we've been saying that for centuries. White people have been hijacking cultural identity of people of color, right? And you're still doing it today, right? This right here, the only group of people who do this, and it's an epidemic, okay? Because you don't see. It's the only group of people who literally try to snatch the cultural identity of other groups of people and try to. Oh my God! Listen. So me and my sister, we were talking about this picture, and we were talking about this, and I decided to go ahead and write the definition of nigger fisher. Before we get this video off, the definition of nigger fisher in the Urban Dictionary derived from the recently coined term nigger fishing. Nigger fisher is a derogatory term that refers to a white person, primarily white women, who alters their appearance to appear black or deceive people into believing that they are black for profit or other benefits. A nigger fisher will alter their appearance to exploit black features for profit or benefit, or as the result of an identity crisis. First coined on Twitter in the year 2018, is in response to white women pretending to be black on Instagram for followers, likes, and financial profit. Nigger fishing has become a racist, and emphasis on racist, okay? It's racist. Has become a racist epidemic among whites to exploit black features, exploit black features, and appropriate black identity for gain, financial, social, or other. Okay? Because the white people who are doing this, they're doing it for a reason. And usually when you see an instance of people nigger fishing, these whites usually trying to do it for financial gain, to try to maybe pimp the system, or exploiting it for money or some kind of gain for themselves, right? So it's not even done out of admiration. Like, they're not even mimicking you out of admiration. They are taking features that they have dehumanized an entire group of people for centuries for having, right? Because at one point in time, bible lips were considered an ape-like feature evident of black people's being subhuman, right? And they literally classified having big butts as a genetic they classify having big butts as a genetic deformity, right? And I really don't want to make this video too long. Google is your best friend. It's a click away, right? And they sat there and they dehumanized black people for their features for centuries, right? And now that they see that black features are starting to be praised as more beautiful, or that we're starting to influence the beauty standard. Black women especially are influencing the beauty standard. The beauty standard is slowly shifting, and is shifting in our direction, right? So now that they see that blackness is starting to influence the beauty standard, they're trying to find ways to exploit that, right? Like with the Kardashians, or that Rachel Dolezal in NAACP. She built an entire career off of pretending to be black. The Kardashians built an entire career off of mimicking black feet, right? They got rich off of mimicking black features. Or there was this man. There was this YouTube video about this man, right? And there was this group for black people helping giving them grants, right? That would help these impoverished black people. And this white man pretending to be a black man, right? White man pretending to be a black man got the grant, right? Like, he had the grant handed to him, pretending to be a black man. So this white man went and took away this grant that was meant for impoverished people of African descent. And oh my, y'all, listen, y'all. Guys, what? So you have these white people, right? White people, because my little don't have the same dad, right? And I've been seeing white people try to dictate, and this is another topic, right? With racial whitening, the agenda to breed out black features, and trying to push the idea that biracial people aren't black. So I really find it ironic how these white people, right, there was a show, I can't remember, there's this British woman on the show. It's not The Talk. Is it The Talk Show? It's one of those shows where a group of women sit at a table and goddamn talk about random shit. And there's an Asian lady in it, right? But there's this white woman, this older white woman, right? And I remember on that show, right? She tried to point out, oh, Meghan Markle isn't black, right? And there was a controversy behind that. And also, after that, the half Japanese, half Haitian girl, what was her name? After Williams, white people in media were severely trying to play down her blackness, right? It completely ignoring her black side, right? Trying to overemphasize her Japanese side as though she was only Japanese, right? So you notice this with biracial people. White people will try to diminish your black ancestry, right? Or try to get you in some way black ancestry so you're not black. But simultaneously, these white people are making excuses or at least trying to justify nigger fishing, right, as transracial. If this white girl who has zero African ancestry, or this white girl has 0.2% African ancestry, who has zero African parents, zero African grandparents, right? If this white girl feels in her heart and in her delusional mind that she's a black woman, then she should be able to identify as a black woman. But meanwhile, these same ass white people take issue with a biracial person who actually has a black parent being identified as black. You see how fucking backwards that is, right? You see how backwards that is. So this white person, this white woman with zero African ancestry, who has no African parents, right? If she really feels in her heart that she's a black woman, even though she's not, right, and she's doing it for financial gain or to exploit the race, um, this white woman can identify as black if she wants to. You guys even coined the term. The term transracial was coined by white people. It was coined by white people. No, black people didn't coin that term because black people aren't trying to be anything other than what they are. Asians didn't coin that term. White people coined that term, right? And they coined it as justification for trying to hijack people's culture. Because, like I've said, throughout the centuries, white people have been hijacking culture. Black people have been saying this for ages, but now that we have social media, we finally get to see with our own eyes that yes, white people are culture vultures. They hijack your identity. They don't just steal your land, right? Steal you out of your continent. White people, they come, they steal your land, and they steal your goddamn identity. You have white people online doing scientific studies, and if it's conducted 100% by white people, and white people have shown in the past to conduct bogus science or try to push their racist agendas in the name of science or even in the name of religion, right? If a group of white people come together and they try to push something off as scientific fact, I take it with a grain of salt, right? They're trying to say that the ancient Native Americans were white. The Egyptians were white. Now suddenly Ethiopians aren't black anymore and they're a part of the Caucasian race. Oh, they're just darker skinned members of our race, right? Because they found out that the first humans came out of Ethiopia and that the oldest civilization, came out of East Africa. And now suddenly they want to claim East Africans, right? And I'm going to tell you why they do this, right? Is to perpetuate the myth of white supremacy, right? And in order for you to seem supreme, you have to have someone inferior to you. But now that we are entering into the age of information where they can no longer lie to us about our origins or lie to us about African history or culture, they have to try to double back on the racist shit that they said about Africa having no civilization and African people swinging on vines and chucking spears before white people came into contact with them. Now we know it's a lie because, fucking internet, and we are learning our history better now. So now they have to double down on what they say, right? And try to disassociate greatness that they see in Africa from African people so that they can claim it, right? So this is where this whole trying to claim different Black African ethnic groups is coming from. It's coming from a place of insecurity, and it's coming from a place of racism to try and reinforce the idea of Black inferiority by trying to link greatness in Africa to whiteness somehow. Okay, so back to what I was saying, it's the same mentality here with these nigger fishers. Okay, Black features are now becoming seen as beautiful, or we're influencing the beauty standard, right? So now these white people are trying to profit off of that, or they see profit in being Black, and so they want to try to exploit the system or exploit the spotlight that people are getting so that they can benefit from it. Not actual Black people, but so that they can exploit it and they can benefit from it, either socially, either financially, with this guy taking African American grants from African people, or, these bitches on Instagram, because Instagram is a business. Okay. You make bank with that. We're taking money out of these girls' pockets by exposing them. Okay. Exploiting the new, they turned it into a trend, right? Black women And I made a video about this, right? And I showed you guys the propaganda. I was playing a video game called Dark Souls, right? And you guys can go watch that video. How white people sneak anti-black female propaganda into Dark Souls. So black women have been dealing with anti-black female propaganda for the longest, right? And it was perpetuated primarily by white people in white media. Have been perpetuating anti-black female to try to reinforce this idea that blackness is ugly, right? And you guys saw it inside of the video that I showed you where propaganda, even they push this. Oh, bitch, talking about anti-black female propaganda. Let me show you this video before I continue. Let me show you. Since we're talking about anti-black female propaganda, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So they're pushing they used to push anti-black female propaganda inside of movies, portraying black women as masculine or downplaying the image of black women only so that white women can seem better in comparison to that distorted image. They used to portray black women negatively in cartoons, even video games, as I've shown you guys inside of my other video with the character design scale on fucking Dark Souls, right? So I'm gonna show you guys an example from a cartoon from when I was little. I used to watch this show called Winx Club, right? So I'm just gonna show you this. Explain it. She's literally the only black character inside of this cartoon, right? And in the beginning of it, the wife is brushing her hair and she's kind of boosting about, oh, my soft silky hair, and then they try to draw a comparison to the white and her hair to the only black female character in her character's hair and ugly. And like I said, we've been dealing with this kind of propaganda for ages. So now that black women are starting to create propaganda campaigns to promote ourselves and we're getting a little bit of spotlight, like the narcissists that white people are and white women specifically are, they want to try to take that spotlight or redirect the spotlight onto themselves somehow, or find some way to profit off of that spotlight. Because like I've said before, white people as a collective are a narcissistic race, and a narcissist can't stand not to be the center of attention 24/7. Right? So, anyways, let me go ahead and show you guys this. Hold on. Okay, can you get to the video? Get to the cartoon.
I'm sure will be like gold silk. Your hair will be gold silk. All the things I must bear. What am I doing? The solution. What's happened that's so terrible? A catastrophe. What happened to my hair? Normally it's straight. I was just walking down the hall when, oh, my whole head of hair puffed up just like that. What is that?
So you see how they said they sneak this propaganda parallels between white women and black women and trying to portray black women as unattractive or ugly, even into fucking children's cartoons. Okay? And it's very petty and it's very narcissistic. It's very revealing of white people's narcissistic nature, right? So now that black women, we're fighting against this kind of propaganda, and now that black women are combating this kind of negative propaganda that's literally instilled from us, instilled into us from childhood into adulthood, right? Like the narcissists that they are, these white women are getting angry that the attention, the spotlight is not fully on them, you know? To in the minds of a narcissist or in the mind of white women, right? And I've witnessed this on countless occasions. Even when you remember when that black male celebrity praised black women and these white women got angry. I once joined an interracial dating group, right? It was a troll black guy did it, right, to troll white women, and it was entitled "White Women Who No Black Men Who Love White Women," because another group by this racist post in there tearing apart black women, right? So these conscious black men made a Facebook group in response to that other racist Facebook group that was these white people, these coon ass black men and these white girls were going in on black women, and black women aren't even in the group. Why are we the topic of conversation and we're not even in the group, right? So these black men, after they got a sizable white female following the group, they changed the name because like whenever Black people shine the spotlight on ourselves, white people try to deflect or try to take that spotlight away from you by including themselves, or interjecting themselves, right? Like if you say black is beautiful, they'll say all people are beautiful, right? Try to deflect you because they don't want the spotlight to solely be shined on black beauty. So the guys, right? And it's funny how white people are all about being inclusive, right? And celebrating everyone only when the spotlight isn't solely on themselves, right? So the black men, they changed the name of the group from black men who love white women, right? To troll the white women to black men who love all women, right? And the white women lost their damn shit. This happened a couple years ago on Facebook. They lost their fucking shit, right? They were talking about, I'm leaving the group. One of the white girls were like, who wears the pants around here, talking about because you changed the name because black women didn't like it, right? Who wears the pants around here? And one of the guys was like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. You're not talking to one of those weak coon ass black men from that other group. You're in the other group. We love our women over here, right? He was like, what's wrong with being inclusive and saying black men who love all women? Isn't that what white women are all about? Where the spotlight isn't shined on them and we're praising and uplifting black women. Don't you guys say that all women should be praised and uplift equally? So now we're praising and uplifting all women equally rather than shining the spotlight solely on you, and you're losing your shit. What's going on? So they were pissed and a lot of the women left the group, but the group was created for that. It was created to troll these women. And guys, Black women have been dealing with this kind of propaganda from childhood into adulthood, and now that the spotlight isn't solely on white women, they're trying to include themselves. I've seen that hair movement. Um, there was these white women, right, getting angry because they couldn't join the natural hair movement. I was like, do you even know what it means to be natural? At what point have white like what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. You can't. Okay, the whole meaning of black women being the overwhelming majority of black women don't wear their hair naturally. They chemically straighten it to fit in with your racist ass intolerant society that makes a big ass deal about the texture of somebody's hair, right? And they alter their hair or they wear weaves to try to fit into your society. You will literally not hire somebody based on the texture of their hair. You will literally practice job discrimination against people based on their damn hair. The Supreme Court just passed a bill or a law or something, right? I can go Google that too, that said that it is okay to turn down people who have dreadlocks, right? And it really is a form of it's a way to target black people because you can't really turn down black people for being black. So you have to try to find other ways to target black people. But the Supreme Court, even banning dreadlocks at work is still legal. U.S. court rules dreadlock ban during hiring process is legal, right? And then they slipped in, oh, and by the way, it's not racist, right? Because they knew the group of people that would be primarily affected by this. But this right here is a video for another time. Right now, we're talking about nigger fishing, right? So, like I said, black women have had to put up with this kind of negative propaganda for centuries in this country. We were dehumanized. It was a scientific fact that my meant that I was less than human. It was a scientific fact that the shape of my ass was a fucking genetic deformity according to white people, right? A scientific fact according to white people that my traits and features made me less human. And now that we're building a platform for ourselves to celebrate our beauty, right, in a country that constantly tears down our beauty, even in fucking cartoons, as you see here, right? White women can't stand the spotlight not being on them for a fraction of a second, and they're trying to hijack the spotlight to redirect it back on themselves and profit off of it, exploit black features and black identity for gain and profit. And that is the very definition of white entitlement. That is the very definition of racism, utilizing your power to disenfranchise or to negatively affect a group of people on a grand scale. You push propaganda to try to dehumanize us and make us feel like shit about ourselves. And when we push counter propaganda to uplift ourselves, now you're trying to redirect that propaganda to make it about you again. Redirect the spotlight back onto you, and everything does not have to be about you. This is why I say white people are a narcissistic race of people. So back to this cartoon.
Nice hair. Congratulations.
And I want to point out something, right? inside of this cartoon, I noticed a lot of double standards with the white females. So in this cartoon, one of the white women has her hair curly, right? And this right here is a double standard that you even see in reality, right? How black women are still being torn apart, torn to shreds, and told they're ugly for the very same features that white women mimic and are praised for mimicking, right? Dark skin is ugly on black girls, but if a white girl does it, oh, white women look better with dark skin. Full lips is ugly on a black girl, but if a white girl gets lip injections, suddenly she's able to become a millionaire off of it, right? For centuries, black women have been dehumanized for their fucking asses. It was a scientific fact that the shape of black women's asses and how big our asses were. They try to pass it off as a genetic deformity. Well, but suddenly a white woman does it, and it's beautiful, right? So in this cartoon, you see that double standard even played out in the fucking cartoon, like they're rubbing it in your face. The black girl is being made fun of for her natural hair, and the white bitch has curly hair, and she's seen as stylish for it. Y'all, I'm done. I am so done.
Okay, you guys, you just watched that video from Coriander. I hope it, that was, clear to you guys what's going on, because this ain't the first and it's not going to be the last that this happened. Because if y'all didn't know, Rachel Dolezal is the one that started. Give me one second. Okay, so Rachel Dolezal was the one that started all this with all the black fishing and because she bamboozled the NAACP into believing that she was a black woman when she could have been honest and say that she was a white woman. But people get exposed for not, for pretending to be black women, especially black women. For some reason, people want to be black women. And this is why I want to let black women know that, give me 1 second. I want to let black women know that people, like, we got to be careful when it comes to our image. We got to call the BS out. And black women, when it comes to us, we are, we should be hired by the FBI because we are really good investigators when it comes down to this, especially when it comes down to our images. We should not let other people take our image and try to ruin us, because that's the next step, is to ruin us. So as far as that, keep doing your hypergamous, keep doing hypergamy because it's working for us. you know and a lot of white men and other non-black men are checking us out, because let's be honest, it has been a long time that white men and other non-black men have been checking us out for like centuries, okay? And to this day, they still checking us out. And I want more black women to open up their options and stop being race loyal, because being race loyal is not working for us. So, as women, stay on your high performing journey for 2021. Still stay Stand by, what you say, keep your standards high, because when you keep your standards high, it chases the dusties away. Okay? For real, it keeps them away because they know that you are on a whole new level. All right? But in other news, let's talk about this because I feel like this is important. There's are, black men chasing or attacking elderly Asian men and women on the streets. And I need to, talk about this because hold on, you guys, give me 1 second. That Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, we need to call this out and bring this to attention, Black women, because it doesn't matter whether we live in a Black community or not. This is still a reflection of us as, as a Black person. When they see Black men attacking their elderly, they're going to put us all in a category, thinking we're all are, running the same gang. Because, that's how ignorant people do when they group one race as, being involved. But I want Black women to call this shit out and let them know that we do not tolerate this. This is ignorant shit. And we're not gonna sit here and let these ignorant dusties paint our image down because they can't get their shit together. And I'm being serious and I'm being honest right now. Okay? It's time for us to call it out. It's time for us to it is time for us to say that we don't stand by this. We're not a part of this group. We don't tolerate stuff like this. We do not attack our elders. We respect our elders, even if we don't agree with them. We respect them. And this knockout game has been going on for like centuries. It's nothing new. However, you know, this is why I stopped supporting Black Lives Matter because of shit like this, where we have to deal with men in the community attacking people and the reason why they're doing this because they're not being held they're not being held accountable for their actions. And I have to say this, Black women, that's our fault that we let them get away with this. It's time for us to hold these men accountable for their actions. No more marching up on the streets. No more protesting for them, going on the front lines. That's all got to stop right now. Because as you can see, they're not being held accountable. They're not being decent citizens. So with that being said, let's call this shit out because it could, it's a reflection of us, whether we, you know, whether we acknowledge it or not. It is a reflection. Right? I just wish people could be honest. Yeah, well, we don't have honest, too many honest people living in this world. And to and as Black women, I wish we'd be honest with ourselves and in the way the community is, and to be able to wake up and say, you know what, I'm not dealing with the bullshit no more. You guys are going to jail. I'm not tolerating this. It's time for you guys to face the consequences. And the men that attacked, killed these elderly people, and these elderly people didn't do anything to these men. It's time for us to sit in that jury and start convicting people for these crimes. This is a hate crime. This is a hate crime. I don't care what anybody said. This is a hate crime. I don't care what the pro-Blacks say about it. I do not care. This is a hate crime. Go, God, Erky. Girl, you do not want to get on that Black Lives Matter train. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Let them drown. I said, let them drown. Let the Asians get a hold of them. Let them get a hold of them, because once they get a hold of them, it's over for their asses, because the Asian community does not play that. They do not play that. And these Asian gangs, oh, they're going to be on it. They do not play when it comes to their elders. So this is really going to be, a race war between Blacks and Asians. And I do not want to be a part of something that I did not start. And let's be honest, I do not want to be a part of something that, that I can be, support of the Asian community. I want to support the Asian community, because this should not be going on. I'm on the side of the Asians. I'm sorry. I'm on their side. Those guys had no right to attack these people. I agree. The violence against Asians are definitely hate crimes. Exactly. But I have to go, and like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.